some more yoga. Today I'm going to do some heart and shoulder openers. I'm going to do some hip openers and some breathing, a new breathing technique. So come into a comfortable seated position. Again, I always like to have a pillow. I have a little pillow behind me. This helps so I can relax my back. If I don't have my pillow, I just collapse. And then I have to use all my back muscles to hold me up. So if you have a pillow or a wedge or a bolster, you want to do that. If you don't have a lot of flexibility, you put two pillows underneath your knees as well. Shoulders, one more time. I'm going to just push my hands on my bones, on my ribs, and push them down. So that helps me breathe into my back. Today we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. Yeah, it's a little too bright for me. I gotta keep my sunglasses on. So this can be really great for any of us who suffer from anxiety. So you plug one nostril and you inhale for 5 counts. You hold for 5 counts. You exhale through the other nostril for 5 counts. Then you inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Switch nostrils, exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. I'm a little stuffed up, so I'm going to do a couple just regular breathing. Inhale, hold. Hold. And exhale. Hold. And inhale. Hold. And exhale. Hold. One last time. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. And hold. Good. From here on, we're going to do the same stretch as yesterday, our trapezius stretch, because I love it so much. So I roll my shoulder down, I push the hand away from me. I come up and over, I find right behind my ear, get that bone lift up and over. And I can rotate the arm if you want to. The trapezius is a big muscle. It attaches right behind here, out to your shoulder, then it goes to all 12 of your thoracic vertebrae. Like a triangle, 2 triangles. It's really a big muscle. I think for a lot of us, we carry our stress on our shoulders, our traps get tight. You kind of feel like this. It's always nice to kind of stretch them out again, and then you can turn your head and you can get kind of the central part of the trapezius. So I'm kind of looking into my armpit here. I don't have to yank too hard on the head because the tension of the other hand pulling away gives me a nice stretch. And I'm breathing into my back. And sometimes it's nice to just notice that one shoulder feels a little lower than the other. So you really feel the difference you're making. You roll the shoulder, press it down. You lift up and over. You have kind of longer arms, you may have to go out to the side a little bit. You don't really want to be touching the floor. And I rotate if I want to. For me, I'm always trying to get my ribs to drop down because they like to pop up. That just lengthens and relaxes the lower back, and then I turn my head and I look into my armpit. Still breathing into my back. I'm relaxing my abs. I don't have to suck them in for any reason. And then I'm just going to push this way and get a little stretch for my the sides of my body here. So I push one hand onto the thigh. Push one hand onto the thigh. That feels good. And from here, I'm going to come right away up on all fours today. And it's a good idea if you are, if you have hyperextended arms. I can show you. I have hyperextended arms. When you're in all fours, you know, if your elbows pop out this way, it's not a super sturdy position, so I want to draw my inner elbows so they face one another. And then I look at my hands, and I want to drop the webbing between my thumb and my forefinger, and the hands want to be spread nice and wide. And I'm going to do a little modified cat and cow. This is really for my upper back. I don't have to do a lot with my pelvis, so I can turn sideways so you can see. I'm going to inhale, and I'm really going to stretch my upper back. And I exhale. You can do whatever you want with the breathing. So for me, I don't do a lot with the pelvis. I do mostly, it's mostly with the upper back. And release. And I'm trying to separate my sits bones. And lengthen the space between my chin and my pubic bone. And I inhale. And exhale. Or you could exhale as you open. You can switch it up however you want. And I'm going to do a little baby twist. So from here I take one hand through. I take the head on the ground. And I have my right hand through, and then I take my right hip and I pull it back a little to get a little extra stretch. I'm looking at the sky, tucking my chin. And I come back up. And I thread through. Left. Yoga is so much better outside, I think. From here, you can begin to do that balance. So I just take one leg behind me, and I'm going to lift it straight into the air. I can turn it out a little bit, or keep it straight. I like to turn it out a little bit so I get my gluteus medius working, my outer upper quadrant of my butt. I take my ribs in. Then I find the balance and I reach the other arm out. It's a great way to kind of get your stabilizing muscles to perk up. And then I do the other side. As I come into the ball of the foot, I give my calf a little stretch. Take my ribs in. Turn out my leg just a little to get the gluteus medius to activate. And then I try to find where I need to lift. Feel stable. And I keep kicking that foot back and release your fingertips forward. And then a modified balasana or child's pose, which is really nice for the low back, so you don't tuck the pelvis, is you can place your forehead flat on the floor or on your mat. You keep your hips up, right? So your forehead's on the ground, and then I reach my hands away. You get a nice stretch for your armpits. Okay. And I'm going to come back. And I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to start today with a plank. If your wrists are kind of bugging you, a lot of people don't like to be on their wrists. You could do plank on your forearms. So today I'm going to do it on my forearms. So I spread my fingers out, take the feet back, and I'm going to find my plank position. I'm going to lift the kneecaps, make sure my hips aren't too low, and I'm breathing. Trying to release the top of my hips. And then you can do a side plank, either by stacking or by putting one foot in front. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand up here so I can find my balance here. Trying to let my hips sag. Really making sure the exhalation is still happening. I come back to plank the forearms. I keep breathing. And then I do my side plank on the other side. Really getting that exhale. Good. Oh! And then my shoulders feel a little tired. So now I'm gonna put my hands. I let my hips release and I let my hands drop behind my palms facing up. I let my head drop. I just relax my shoulders. I'm gonna come up. And take your arms up. We did this one yesterday. Dropping one and push the head back. So I'm using my head to stretch out my tricep. If you want to clasp the hands or get a strap, you can clasp them together. Also trying to breathe into my back. Tuck the chin a little bit to have the back of the neck long. And do the other side. I start with a lot of sun salutations, but I don't really feel like that today. So I'm not going to do it. We're going to do a couple more hip deals, and then we'll just do some poses. So again, you can use your pillow. And you extend and release. I love this pose. It really helps open the space between the ribs and the hips. And same thing, you can flex and maybe spiral to the ceiling. You can exhale and point and release down. So you can get a little bit of a twist in there. Then I'm also trying to feel this hip, this sits bone dropping to the ground as much as I can. My shoulders are too high, so I gotta relax those. And come back up. Other side. Again, I take my arm along the length. See if you can resist any temptation to pop your ribs out and arch your back. Actually, it's going to compress your lower back. And we don't want to compress your lower back. We want to lengthen it. We want to lengthen the neck so the chin can tuck slightly. Same thing, you can flex and spiral. And exhale and fold. Flex and spiral. Shoulder relaxes. Here, I'm going to do a little baby back bend, a supported back bend. I'm going to turn sideways. You don't have to go very far, which is a stress in a camel pose. So I just place my thumbs to my small of my back. And for a lot of us, all we're going to do is lift the heart and look at the sky and breathe. If you want, you can drop down onto your heels. Again, I'm trying to keep my ribs down as much as I can and get the arc in the lower back. And then just to be safe, I take my hands to the small of my back to push myself up. And you might want to go into a little child's pose to release. This is the one with the hips up, or you can go with the hips down, whatever feels good. And from here, I'm going to come up to downward facing dog. So I curl the toes back. Don't worry about your heels being on the ground. That's not the point. The point is just to stretch out the calves and the hamstrings. So I'm going to tread the feet, bending one knee at a time. And still have the webbing of my thumb and forefinger down on the ground. Up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, get the hips a little higher. And then the heels might not touch right away, which is fine. It's really about keeping the hips high. And then I want to widen the shoulders, so I bend the elbows. And as I straighten, I'm trying to wrap my arm muscles. So from the elbow down, I'll come down here to explain. From the elbow down in downward dog, you want to be rotating in. From the elbow up, you want to be rotating out. So you have some stability there. So from the elbow down, I'm rotating in towards the forefinger and thumb. And from the elbow up, I'm rotating out. So I'm using my lats. And I'm just gonna slowly walk my feet in. If your hands touch, great. If not, hold on to the ankles. I'm gonna do feet hip distance apart. My knees are a little bit bent, and you can see this. And that way I can really try to get this nice and long. I drop the head. And then I might come up onto the fists, and then I just stretch one leg at a time. And put a little more weight into that straight leg. Woo, and you really feel the hamstring. Hello. And then the other one, I straighten it and I put my weight into my straight leg. From here, I'm going to keep my feet hip distance apart. I'm going to bend my knees, put my elbows on my thighs here. Let the weight shift a little bit to the heels. I want to find that place where you're not arching, but you're not tucking either. You're really trying to find a nice neutral spot. And then when you're ready, you're going to come into Uttanasana or chair pose. And let go. I think I did it. Yeah. Good. And then I'm going to come all the way up. Take my feet together. Scoot back so you can see. I'm going to hold on to my wrist. Take my feet together here and I come up and over. And I release to one side. We're going to lots of side stretches today. Again, you can spiral up. Dropping into my heels. Good. All right, maybe we'll do one sit salutation. Step up. We're gonna inhale, come on up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway, look up to the horizon. Exhale, release. Come into your plank position. You can lower Chaturanga Dandasana. From here, we're gonna go with a baby back bend into Sphinx. Elbows are on the ground. Lift the rib cage off. Try to lengthen the back. Good, and then we're gonna go to the next series of back bends. So Sphinx is the easiest and most mellow. My pelvis is still on the ground, my elbows are bent. I'm trying to initiate the bend right above the sacrum. And then the next one would be Cobra. So you lay flat on your tummy. And you place your hands right by your shoulders. The elbows tuck into the body. And I lift up. My hips are still on the ground. And the thing is, a lot of people like to do this. So you want to take your shoulders down. Squeeze the elbows in. Oh, this is hard for me. And I'm gonna pull my hands, use the friction of my hand as far as my hips. And I pull the ribs in. Woo! It's a lot of arm work. And then the last one is upward facing dog, or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. The hands come a little bit lower. And now I'm on just my feet and my hands. And again, a lot of times we want to collapse in the back. You don't need to collapse in the back. Your long back. I curl over my toes and I come to downward facing dog. And then I'm just going to tread my feet again because that really feels good to stretch out my calves and my Achilles. And I'm going to take my left leg straight up in the air. With my feet turned out. Make sure you have some weight on the hands. I'm going to turn my leg out now and bend the knee and look under my left armpit. And a little psoas stretch here. And I'm going to stretch out my other psoas by taking that foot forward into a passive lunge. Drop the knee, drop the foot, drop the head, and release here. This is more of a yin yoga stretch. It's passive. It's really to help open up those places where you're holding. You want to let go. I have a very tight psoas, so I'm always trying to do psoas stretches. And you can always add this one. Ideally, I'd have a block there, but I don't have a block right there. And then why don't we just stay in this lunge and come to a high lunge while we're here. I'm going to stay on my fists today. So I did some running, which I'm not a great runner. My hip flexors are tight. I ran around the house with Winston 9 times around the house. Same time it took me to do 9, he did 10. He's a little faster than me. And he wasn't very winded because he's sick. And then we're going to come back to plank and lower Chaturanga Dandasana. And today I'm going to go right up to upward facing dog, back to downward facing dog. I'm going to take my right leg straight up first, not too turned out. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. I feel a nice stretch in my calf, a little higher. And then I open up. Bend the knee, look under the armpit. I'm going to come through into my passive lunge on the other side. Now I drop the knee, drop the foot. You want to make sure this foot's flat. So if you need to scoot it up, scoot it up. And then I relax and drape. I'm going to keep stretching this way. My kids aren't out here today. I'm surprised. You might see them later. And then my full lunge. I'm going to do one more vinyasa going through chaturanga. Here we go. Upward dog. Last downward dog. And you're going to stay here for 5 breaths. See where you can create length. If I was with you right now, I'd take your hips and I'd pull them up to the back diagonal. Trying to find the places where there is room versus pushing into places where there's no room. Just let the exhalation take you there. I'm going to stay patient. That's very difficult for people like me, but we're going to keep trying. And then I'm going to walk my hands up. My feet up. I have my feet together. I'm going to come right away to my chair pose again. All the way up. And I'm going to do that same little back bend we did seated, or the camel, but now I can do it standing. My feet together, lift the heart. Just a baby back bend. Today I thought it would be fun to do a triangle. So I'm going to turn my mat sideways so you can see me a little bit better. So a triangle, it's not about how far down you can get. It's really about how long you can get your side. So I take a wide stance, turn out my right foot, turn in my left leg, make my arms either side, take a big breath in. I'm going to release long, long, long. And then if I had a block, I would place it on the block. I don't have a block, so I'm just going to take my hand on my ankle. And I'm trying to stay flat versus dropping and arching. I'm trying to stay flat. My ribs are in, and I'm lengthening the crown of my head towards the street here. I'm looking up to my hand, but it's a little too bright. So I'm not going to actually look at my hand today. My shoulders need to relax. I'm pulling this kneecap up. And then I might as well go into Warrior 2, because I'm already here, so I just flex my hands. Warrior 2. Common mistake is putting all the weight into that thigh. That's too much work. You want to take your hips back and put some weight into your back heel. So you're using your glute muscle. So it's not all about the quad. Add a little side or back in. You can look down at the foot. That's what I want to do today. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to go to the other side. Turn my right leg in. I lift this kneecap. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release long. Drop into triangle. Ribs are in. Blinded? The sun feels good though. And then I come up into Warrior 2. side bend. Good, and then we'll just do a couple forward bends. You're gonna clasp your hands, open the heart, all the way down. Turn your hands inside out if you want to. Shift your hips side to side. I just take my hands to the ground. I'm gonna bend my knees, put my hands on the hips and come all the way up. Hi, Winston. I'm gonna turn the feet out. Take your arms to the side. Swing the right under the left. Take a big breath in. Say hi to everybody, Winston. Yeah, get in the camera. There he is. Woo! Good. And then we're gonna do the same thing. Little baby back bend. And forward. Oh, hi, Winston. I'm just gonna drop my head off here. I'm gonna walk my hands out. Let me do a little cat-cow here. So you're in a wide parcerita, and then you're gonna roll. A little cat-cow, just to open up the back. In. I bend my knees a little bit just to help me get up, so I can use my glutes. Back up and turn out, and I think the left goes under the right this time. Big breath in. Exhale. One more thing in. And then I think a fun balance today would be the eagle. So Winston, you want to do the eagle with me? This one's fun. Go ahead and stand up, buddy. Okay, now we're gonna the other way. You're gonna take it. I'll face you. We're gonna swing one arm underneath the other. Clap our hands. Good. Put your feet together. Nice. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Bend both knees. Good. And then if you feel fancy, we're gonna cross. Yeah. Whoa! I'm falling. You have better balance than me. Good. And then you lift those elbows. Good. And then you come all the way back out. Good. And try again. Other one. Left and the right, or whichever one you think do. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Bend the knees. Stick out your booty. Yeah, not that much. That's good. Shake it out. And then you can stretch out your quadricep. Hold on to each other. Nice. Alright, should we sit down? That's enough for standing poses. I want to do a fun heart opener, and I might actually show it on Winston. It's hard to do while I'm doing it. Winston, can I show this on you? So he's gonna lay flat on his tummy. On your tummy. That's your back. There you go. And your palms facing down. You're gonna spread your arms out. Yep, palms facing down. And your hands are about the height of your head. There we go. You can turn your head to the side. So I'm going to take your shoes off. Just there, going to be fine. Okay, you're going to bend one knee. You're going to cross it over. You're going to pick it up. Put your foot flat on the floor. Good. This hand stays where it is, and then you're going to lift this hand and stretch. He's pretty flexible, so that's exciting. And just stay there, and then I might even clasp his hands together. That should feel really good in your pectoral muscle. And then to come out of it, Winston, you doing okay? Come out of it, you do one hand down, and then good. And then we do the other side. Bend the knee, cross it over, pick it up, put the knee up, So put that foot flat. You're kind of nestling the foot in the back of the other knee. And then this arm comes up and it reaches. And then you kind of clasp the hands together if you want. And a little twist. And a little pectoral stretch. I love this one. Does that feel okay, buddy? See? And then release. Good. And then you're going to flip onto your back. And then this is a nice hamstring stretch. A hamstring stretch where you're reclined is the best for your low back. The next one is the seated, and then the last is the standing ones. If you have a partner, this is great. Otherwise, you get a strap. So this leg is straight. And then I'm just going to, no, this one stays down. You feel a stretch here? Okay, so he's going to flex his foot. Yeah, and then I'm going to push down just a little bit so he does that nice stretch. And then we point the foot and let it relax. And then you can take the leg out to the side. So I put one hand on his hip. And then open to the side. Good. And then you get the outer hamstring, you can just cross over just a little. You straighten the knee. Feel okay? Okay, let's do the other one.
I want to open my eyes.
You can open your eyes.
I can't, the sun's in my eyes.
Sun's in his eyes. That's why I have sunglasses on. You flex and straighten. Straighten that knee. Keep the hip down, hip down. There we go. And point and relax. Left. Breathing. And then we're going to take it off to the side. DVD. And then a little bit off to the side. Relax that hip. Come on down. Good, Winston. And then we're going to finish today with a little twist. So you're going to bend both your knees. With your feet flat. You're going to cross one over the other. Lift your knees up. You're going to fall this way. Arms are here. And you're turning your head that way. Good. Good, nice little twist. Shoulders dropping. And then we go to the other side. Bend this knee over, lift the legs up. And then turn his head to the other side. So I'm just dropping that shoulder. You breathing? And then we're going to finish with Shavasana. Relax. Turn in, turn around, turn in, turn out. Palms are facing up. Stretch out his neck. Close your eyes. It's a little bit hot, so maybe put something over his eyeballs. Don't forget about your Shavasana. Last part. Alright. It's Yoga Quarantine. Day 2. I'll see you later.